Good morning, everyone. YouTube, how are you? Starting YouTube up, giving them just a minute or two to get in before everybody else because it takes a while to get those notifications out there, it seems. So we'll get them going first. Make sure that my sound is off on my phone. Always want to do that. And it wasn't. Woo. All right. now hopefully it'll be uninterrupted. And we're at 8 o'clock, so let's go ahead. Well, 11 o'clock Eastern, so let's go ahead and bring people on Periscope. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Jerry Hurlston, how are you? Morning. I increased the output a little bit on Good Morning, LA Child on YouTube, so I hope it didn't mess it up. We can only hope. Good morning. Yes, how are you? Good to see you. I increase the output. Hey, Lisa, how are you? So we should see if it does better or worse this morning on YouTube. So, all right, Shauna, that should do that for you. Good morning. How is everybody? Hi, Mike, Jade. Good to see you. Rainbow Trail. Good to see everybody. Good. Perfect. Yeah, let's hope the it doesn't mess up the feed, but yeah, it looks better here too. So, no picture. I'm here. You may have to go out and come back in. I think everybody else can see me. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Cully. Good to see you. How is everybody? Picture here. Yep. I think sometimes that Periscope, you just have to go out, come back in. You know how it is. They want to make sure that you are on your toes. Clean up your act. These names, I love it. Clean up your act. Good morning, good morning. Angels, good morning. Kim, how are you? How are you? How's everybody over in YouTube as well? Hello, hello. Good to see everybody. Hey, Max, good to see you. Good morning. Happy Happy Friday, Junior. Last night seemed like Friday to me, I tell you. Hey, good morning, Mike. Good to see you. We're all needing to go to Berkeley now. My handle since 2009 hasn't made much of an impact. It has with me. Clean up your act. I'll remember it. Dawn, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Now, Bob and Asher. I know. And Donald. I know Donald last night, I did a scope for anybody that doesn't know. I was on YouTube and Periscope last night, and there were a couple of people that came in afterwards. They came in about, I don't know, 2 hours afterwards, and they thought it was live. And they couldn't understand why people weren't responding to them. Hey, Robert, how are you? Asher, good morning. And they were complaining about the fact that nobody was responding to them. And I'm like, well, they can't respond to you because they're not there. It was 2 hours ago. So you do the best that you can, but you can't get everybody, I suppose. Oh, good morning. Good morning, Rhonda. Good to see you. One too many. I don't know. Maybe not enough. Must have left the chat open in YouTube. No, I closed everything down, so I don't know how that happened. I mean, I went off. I wasn't live streaming. Everything closed, so I don't know. Good morning, Rhonda. Good to see you. Keith, good to see you. Okay, so everybody that was on last night, remember I told you that I had something to tell you this morning. I couldn't tell you last night. Does anybody remember that? Thank you, Asher. You should see it without the girls. Better be big. Well, I don't know. Hey, Fancy Crochet, this is your first day on Periscope. Welcome to Periscope. And welcome to the chat in here. I think you'll like it. You missed a good scope. Yes, Queen's Lady, you did. Karen, I stayed up all night for it. It's going to be huge. Yes. Okay, so without further ado, I don't want to keep you. Make sure you swipe and invite, though. Make sure you get everybody in here swipe and invite, so you can everybody will hear this and won't miss a thing. Good morning, Don. Don, you made it to the live chat this time. You are here live. Asher needs to make breakfast, so gonna listen. All right. I like your name, Asher, but I don't know if you're male or female. Don't hate me for not knowing. I don't know if Asher is. I don't know. And I don't think you've ever said if you were male or female. If you want to say it, fine. That way I'll know and I can say her or him, So keep calm, peeps. All right. So here's what I was going to tell you last night. Do you remember when I told you that I have a friend? DM me later. Didn't see who that was. Just DM me later today, and we can set something up. I have a friend who is a VA whistleblower. Does anybody remember that person? Lady Catherine. You don't remember? Okay. Well, hey Bob, how are you? So my friend was one of the very first VA whistleblowers. Yes, from Facebook, and self-identify as they. Okay, Asher, you're no help to me. Okay, um, so yeah, somebody had to leave really quickly there. Um, he, thank you, Lady Catherine. He went through a horrible, horrible time. I met him when he was just getting started as a VA whistleblower. So he went through about 18 months of being accused of every different thing because he was a whistleblower. He had a hard time with the VA, as you might expect. Um, it got to the point where when he went to the VA, they said you have to be escorted around by, the VA police. I mean, it was really bad. He was accusing people of getting into his files under HIPAA violations. I mean, there's a lot. And if you ever look him up, you'll see all the trials and tribulations that he went through. Well, over time, I got to know him, through talking to him online and talking to him on the phone. And then about, I don't know, a few months ago, I can't even remember, time flies so much. I met him in person, and I have pictures with him, and met his wife and family. He's got family who, his children are in the Marine Corps. He is a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. To say all that, today you know that President Trump, around, I think it's 4:30 this afternoon Eastern Time, is going to be signing an executive order to protect VA whistleblowers. And my friend was, I know, instrumental in making that happen. Not only that, but my friend is going to be there today at the signing. Now, how great is that? He's going to be there as Donald Trump signs that executive order. He will be one of the people standing around the desk behind Donald Trump. Um, I have chills when I'm saying that. It is so awesome. I know. I'm so thrilled for him. I talked to him last night when he was in D.C. and he just got into D.C. and I told him, I don't know how you're ever going to sleep tonight. I know. I mean, so amazing. So it's good news for all of the veterans. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll try to take it on the screen if I'll try to remember to do that. And he's going to take pictures. I said, you better take pictures. And not only that, but he's going to be meeting with some of the senators there today. So, I think veterans, him and other veterans, they have a lot. They were instrumental in making this happen, because before them, if it weren't for whistleblowers, the vets would still be getting screwed. That's exactly right. Case number, whatever your case is. And he was instrumental in making that happen. His name is Brandon Coleman, and you will see him. You can't miss him. He's a big guy with kind of a long ponytail. He usually wears it in a long ponytail. You can't miss him. He'll be taking up a lot of the screen, and he's going to also be on. I think he's going to be on with Tucker Carlson tonight, and he's going to be on with Fox and Friends, I believe, tomorrow morning. So, yes, when people stand for truth, God blesses them. Yes, they do. So look for him all over Fox today. And he's a really great guy, a really great guy. Love him, love his family. His wife is just a wonderful woman. The kids are amazing, and like I said, they're all Marines, so they're amazing. Um, Welcome, Fring. I can't say the rest of it, but anyway, welcome. Yes, the executive order is to protect VA whistleblowers because a lot of whistleblowers have come forward and they don't fare so well. Flizan 2006, it's your first day on Periscope. Yeah, hopefully things will welcome 14205. It's your first day on Periscope. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Philip. Good to see you. Debbie, good to see you as well. And so I think it's a very cool thing. If that were happening to me, if I were in the White House talking to Donald Trump this morning, I don't know how I would handle it. So hopefully he got some sleep and he'll remember it. But I mean, this is a day that he won't soon forget. I mean, it's a great, great thing. Yeah, Asher, is breakfast ready? Where's Asher? Asher's being very quiet over there. Okay, perfect. Oh, you said okay. John McCain has been a disaster for vets. Yeah, he really has. Yeah, it's a really happy ending, Rhonda. And there are some people right now who are whistleblowers in the VA right now that they really need the protection of this executive order. So whatever happened to Edward Snowden, I don't know. I have no idea. So hopefully you guys will get to see that again. It's supposed to be at 4:30 Eastern time today. That's the signing of the executive order. And again, I think he will be on, I believe, Tucker Carlson tonight and on the, I think, what is it, Family, Fox Family or whatever in the morning with those. Again, I don't watch Fox, so I may have to watch it because of that. So anyway, that will be great. McCain, yeah. I think a lot of people thought McCain would be helpful, but it doesn't seem to be. Why the mic? Well, Mr. Rugby Kings, because I do a podcast. This is a mic I use for my podcast, my radio show, and the people on YouTube are getting to hear that. Thank you, Don. Are getting to hear the mic. Thank you. And also, this on the mic protects the sound. It's not so you don't get the background noise and you don't hear the puh puh puh. So, I get asked about this mic every day, and it's usually the guys who ask me about the mic. The women don't ask me, so that's interesting. So, yeah, puh puh puh. There you go, Mr. Rugby Kings. Anyway, no more this. I know. I tell you, it's amazing. So Don is Don behaving himself in YouTube over there. All right, so I'm talking to people, Mr. Rugby Kings, who are they are also in YouTube. So we're having YouTube and Periscope at the same time. Karen, good morning. Good to see you. Lisa, good morning. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like a child. Oh, good. Let's see. All right. So I don't know if this morning, if anybody saw Elijah Cummings. Did anybody see Elijah Cummings' press conference? Thank you. Good for POTUS on NAFTA. And if you are over there and you would like to come over to YouTube, you just go to youtube.com and look for the Susan Knowles channel. You'll recognize my face there. Go in there, subscribe, and click on the little bell so that you will be given notification every time we come on. So anyway, so Elijah Cummings had to come out this morning and talk about who do you think he's talking about? Who would Elijah be coming on to talk about? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Elijah Cummings and Maxine Waters, about the same people. Actually, yes, he was talking about Donald Trump, but in a roundabout way. He was talking about Michael Flynn. Yes, that's right. This is something, they any chance they get, the Democrats, they hook their teeth right into anything that comes up that they can, this is something new that we can talk about. So today it's Michael Flynn. There's a report out now that said in 2014 that he was told not to take monies from Russia, and he did it anyway. So, have no idea if it's true, but that's a report that's out. And of course, the Democrats are calling for, yeah, they're still into Russia, Shauna. Everything's about Russia. That's years ago. I know. Does it matter to them? No. And they want information. They want the White House to turn over information. And of course, they're telling the public, oh, I think probably the White House has something to hide, and that's why they're not giving us information. What they do understand, but they're hoping that you don't understand, is the fact that, everybody has a right to privacy. Everybody has a right to, with their employer not to do certain things. I don't know if the White House right now has permission, and I don't mean from Flynn, but I'm just talking about in general, if they have legal permission, let's put it that way, to turn over that type of information. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube's doing it, won't let you post a link. That's kind of bizarre. Um, and so, again, they want you to believe that it's something really horrible and the White House is hiding everything, and that may absolutely not be the truth. And of course, they had to make fun of Sean Spicer and say, well, oh, he talked all this talk about why he couldn't give it over. Now, if this were the Democrats, they would be saying, if it was somebody on their side, well, they would be telling you what the law is and why they can't do that. But because it's on the other side, on the flip side, we're not going to hear that. So you know how that goes. So that was Elijah's little 15 minutes of fame this morning. Did not know the White House is a person. Well, there you go, Mr. Rugby. Nice to see you. You're just really wanting to get noticed today. Okay. So tragedy on oh whoa, right, Don. So we've also been hearing that Comey is going to be testifying on May 3rd before the Senate committee. And immediately CNN comes out with, oh gosh, that they're probably going to be talking about Russia and how Russia interfered with the elections. Well, nobody said that. But again, that's what the CNN and the lamestream media want you to believe, that this is all going to be about Russia, and we're going to continue talking about that. And we don't know what that we're talking about. They're just guessing and, kind of pushing that fake agenda because they want to, I know, they want to keep Russia, now that everything's kind of dying down and something else, but let's bring Russia back. And as long as we can bring things like Russia back, we're not talking about the Clinton Foundation, the emails, the server, or any of that stuff, and probably never will, because we've moved on away from that, but we're not moving on away from anything that the Democrats are doing. That's yeah. Seems to have a pattern of talking around answer but not answering. All yeah. It's probably so. Hey Pajama, how are you? Hi Daniel. The Judiciary Committee on the Subcommittee on Crime and Terrorism is scheduled to call remember Sally Yates, the former acting AG, former DNI James Clapper, to testify on May 8th to discuss possible Russian interference with the election. So again, everything is about Russian interference with the election. Haven't heard a thing about Dennis Montgomery. Haven't heard a thing about the information that Dennis Montgomery, uh, allegedly has in regards to people being surveilled. None of that. So, when are excuse me, my nose is itching off today. When are we ever going to hear about pertinent information rather than just everything about, the Russian interference? Over and over, we hear the same thing. Well, thank you. Thank you. Did you hear about the ANC FBI? I don't really know what that is. That's funny, Don. Trolls. Yeah. Another, yeah. Goodbye. Nice to see you. Bye bye now. Okay, so And Lindsey Graham is the head of that subcommittee. So they've been quiet for a while, meaning the Bombsey twins, Lindsey Graham and McCain. So we're likely to see them, coming back again. Episode of Hogan's Heroes. I know. Ah, yeah, it's really funny. They go away for a while and then they come back, and it's always something against usually the administration. So I'm sure we'll be seeing that again. Now, yesterday they talked also about the approval rating of Donald Trump, and this was something that was put out by CNN. So, what does that tell you? It's not going to be positive. They're saying that he has a 44% approval rating, 54% disagree with him. And I know, golly, exactly. How many Republicans were sampled? I would say zero. Hey, Marlene, good to see you. And they'll never tell you, yeah, it's fake news. And they were talking about, oh, he's got the lowest rating of any president ever. Yeah, according to CNN, he does. CNN at its, hey, Kevin, good to see you. Why do we even give the credence to polls? Well, we have to talk about them and talk about how fake they are. Kane and Graham worked with administration. We could, why do they throw rocks? Well, they throw rocks, Rhonda, because they are actually Democrats in Republican clothing. They are desperate and violent. See you nice. Ah, great. Perfect. Everybody's being quiet over there on YouTube. Let's get that conversation. I see Don talking his head off, but I don't see anybody else talking about stuff. So, again, that's why we have to talk about things like CNN when they come out with a poll, because the general public looks at that and says, oh, wow, that must be true. He must. Well, the topic right now, we're just talking about Donald Trump, but you may want to go back, Marlene, and get the very beginning of this Periscope, because I talk about what last night, what I was going to reveal was a kind of like a surprise. So you'll want to hear it. It's in the first couple of minutes. So, okay. Now, you'll love this. Everybody's going to love this. How can anyone trust CNN? Nobody can, as far as I know. But, people who aren't as active in the news and don't keep up with the news as much as you guys do, they go to CNN because they think that's a trusted source and that's where they're going to get their information. So when they sit down at night, and start listening to it, they believe that it's true. And so, if you don't tell them that it's not true, then they're not going to know. I know that. Hey, Don, thanks for dropping by. People always look at that and say, how can people believe that? But they honestly do. Karen says, "Crap News Network." Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they claim to be the trusted source, and they tell you that every 5 minutes. And so after a while, people who don't really watch the news and stay with it and know what's happening, they tend to believe it. Truth seekers, yeah. The lesser informed, yeah. Even Harley Team Z alluded to the fact that they are not trusted on Hannity last night. Yeah, did anybody hear, what's I mean, look at what's happening at Fox. Okay, first it was O'Reilly. O'Reilly's gone. And then next, you have somebody coming out against Sean Hannity. And Sean Hannity, thankfully, is fighting back and saying, enough of this. I'm not going to fall into the same trap as everybody else, and I'm not going to sit here and wait for something to happen. Well, Hannity, he claims he did absolutely nothing. Supposedly, an attorney who was a guest on the show said at some point a couple of years ago, I guess, Sean asked her to come up to his room. And when she didn't do that, he never had her back on as a guest. Something to that effect. And the news media, started to spin it as though it was sexual harassment. And she said, no, I didn't say it was sexual harassment. And so Sean is saying, I'm tired of it. I'm not going to sit here like everybody else, be accused of something, and go down because of it. I'm going to fight back. And he has a team of attorneys, and he may be going after some of the news outlets. And that's why, we have to we have to be so careful, when we're saying something as well, because, you don't want to get into that habit of just believing everything that you hear. Whenever I write an article, I try to give you the source of it so that what's my opinion and what came from something else. And it is horrible. And even Bill O'Reilly says that he's going to prove that what was said against him is not true. So, I don't know what's going to happen there. But now we have Jesse Waters, who goes. He's the guy that goes out on the street and for Bill O'Reilly. He worked with Bill O'Reilly. Went out on the street and asked people questions. It was a funny thing, haha, that type of thing. And yeah, exactly, Lisa. Lisa said she's an attorney. She knew to backtrack. Um, so Jesse Waters made a comment about Ivanka Trump. I think it was something to do with her microphone. So people listen up. And somebody thought it was kind of sexually oriented or something that way. I don't know. And so Fox put him on an unexpected, sudden vacation. And people are wondering. Yeah, I know he's on a vacation, and they're wondering, is he coming back, or are they getting rid of him like they did O'Reilly? Is this what's going to happen? Is this the new pattern at Fox? So I don't know. Hey, how are you? Yeah, I know. It did. And it may have been, it may have been an innuendo. I didn't hear it personally. But I don't know. He is the comic guy, the comedian type thing. So, I mean, I think for a news show that would have been an inappropriate comment. But comedians probably would have said something like that. And and Sean is saying, he was part of O'Reilly's show. Maybe they want him out, and that's what a lot of people are thinking. Yeah, I know. Clean up your act. You would have told him to clean up his act, but I know. Do I really believe the news? Do I really believe that's a very broad statement? Yeah, O'Reilly mentored him. So I mean, again, we go back to Murdoch's kids, who pretty much we've been told don't like the conservative bent of Fox, and they want to try to get rid of him. So, I believe it or not, Jesse is a comedic part of O'Reilly. I know. So if he's doing a little bit of comedy, then all of a sudden that's not acceptable. Do you trust those? Yeah, no. Dennis Miller better be watching it, because he used to go on O'Reilly show all the time. So he'd better be on the straight and narrow, or he'll be the next to go. And then what about Judge Janine? Are they going to try to get rid of her too? Because you talk about a conservative. The only thing I think with Judge Janine that they may be more careful with is Judge Janine is an attorney. I love her too. Yeah, she's really good. Yeah. There's no tolerance for those on the right, but there's tolerance for those on the left. But I mean, there it just looks like they're trying to get rid of everybody that is conservative. And I don't know, um, why not just be somebody who just says, "Hey, you know what? Your contract's up. We don't want you on the show anymore." Free speech is under attack. Yeah, he's got a bigger audience than Janine. That's true. A bigger reach, and probably going to have a bigger reach. I don't know. I don't know why people have to come into the scopes and just to be weird, but anyway, they do. Hey, Mike, good to see you over there. So, they are walking a tightrope right now. Yeah, I think they are all kind of walking a tightrope. And, we see it, going on Twitter, going on Periscope, YouTube. We see how they're treating the conservatives. I mean, it's pretty much something that we can say, that this is what they're doing, and it's pretty obvious. Hey, Laura, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Please swipe and invite if you would, everybody. Glad that you're here. Good to see you, Jerry. Haven't seen you in a while. Missed you. And Mike over there, please subscribe on YouTube and click on that little bell so you can get notifications. You know, sometimes, Mike, you may want to go ahead and sign up because I come on at different times and do different scopes. Hey, Susan, good to see you. I do different scopes and different topics, and you may enjoy those too. It's sort of an impromptu thing, so you may like that. Chelsea Clinton is making a fool out of herself on Twitter. Why is she trying? I don't know. You'll have to ask Chelsea Clinton then, I guess. Maybe her parents are telling her to. Oh, wow. North Georgia mountains. Very nice. Very, very nice. Fox Asher says Fox is also being sued for racism by 8 past and present employees with more to join. And it's funny because I heard somebody talking about this morning about the people that were on Fox, the African Americans that were saying that Fox was discriminating against them. Too busy to chat. Okay, Tillman, no problem. They're saying that there at least one person who had an attorney there yesterday. They were saying that it sounded like the big complaint was that one instance where he had gone on O'Reilly's show, and this is a man by the name of Kelly, an African American. I don't know him. Again, I don't really watch too much of Fox News, so I don't really know. But he had gone on and he had been asked by O'Reilly to come on and talk about Ferguson. This was during the whole time with Ferguson. And so the guy said, well, I don't really want to talk about Ferguson. I want to talk about, the positive things that, let's say, African Americans have done over here. And so Bill was saying, well, that's not really what I want to talk about. And so I want I want you to talk about Ferguson or come on and sing or whatever. I guess the guy's a singer. I have no idea. So yeah, maybe he's trying to jump on the bandwagon. I don't know. But it's kind of like, it's Bill's show. If Bill wanted to have a show on a topic about conservatism or Ferguson or whatever, as a guest, hey, how are you? Hey, Liz. As a guest, you don't come on and tell the people what their show can be about. When I go on to somebody else's show, I say to them, what would you like me to talk about? Or they may ask me, what do you want to talk about? They kind of do vet the topics. I mean, I kind of know when I go on a radio show, kind of in general, what they want me to talk about. And sometimes I get that 10 minutes ahead. Sometimes I get it a day ahead, typically not a day ahead of time. But they tell me what they want me to talk about. Well, thank you, but it's not your scope. But anyway, and so I go on and do what they want me to do. It would be like me going on and saying they want me to talk about eggs, and I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about eggs. I want to talk about rocks. And he had to leave, Shauna. He left very quickly. So it's just that doesn't mean that they're sexist, because I'm a female, that they're discriminating against me. It just means that this is the topic that they want to talk about, and that's that. Hello, Leo. If you could speak English, then I could read what you're. I don't speak another language, so you'll have to speak English if you want me to know what you're saying. He must have agreed to come on the show. Yeah, I mean, and if he didn't want to do that, then just say, no, I don't want to talk about Ferguson. And they can say, okay, well, thank you, and we don't want you on the show. Yeah. Marlene says that TV producers are snakes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, again, that doesn't mean that's anything to do with racism or sexism or anything else ism. It just means that that's the topic that they wanted to talk about. And if you talk about some other topic when something is big, it's a big topic, and then you go over here and you talk about this, maybe there's another show that you can talk about now, but this particular show isn't the one. And it doesn't mean that you're trying to, hurt anybody in any way. It's just that's what they want to talk about. Martha Stewart. Oh, gosh, you were on Martha Stewart. Hey, Carmen, good to see you. So this is made me change your clothes. Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean, see, that too. When I went on One American News Network, you have to wear. They told you what certain colors that you couldn't wear, and so is that a bad thing to tell you what you can and can't wear? Um, the thing of it is, there's a camera, that has to pick up certain colors, and certain colors they can't pick up. So I had no problem with it. I know, Laura. I'm from the South too. Um, so you just kind of, it's their show, and if you want to have your own show, then you can do so. At your own show. Asher says people have found out suing is lucrative because usually it's settled out of court. The left has mastered it. Absolutely, Asher. Absolutely. Patterns on camera can't be distracting. Yeah. And I can't remember if it was don't wear white. I can't remember now what the color was I couldn't wear. But they would always tell you to kind of bring a nice, I always wore like a blue or red or something like that so the camera could pick it up. The dog was the star. Oh, oh no. Anyone miss me? Had to buy propane. Yes, Don, we missed you. Hey, fixin' too. So, okay, here's what you're going to like about this. Yeah, it's a production. That's all. I mean, it's a show. It's like if you were doing a live show at a it's just what it is. You're going to do what they ask you to do. Shauna, there's a question over there for you on YouTube. Yeah, it's business, and that's what you do with business. So you know it's like you wouldn't be asked to go into a church, right? And you're saying, well, instead of singing the hymns tonight, I decide I want to do rock and roll. And they're like, okay, well, we like rock and roll, but this is church. We're going to be doing church tonight, So when the polls start showing demography, then I'll consider, yeah, demographics on that. I ran over to comment on Periscope. Yeah, Mike was asking you a question. Mike Smith was asking you a question, Shauna, up above there. Yeah, so I mean, that has nothing to do with racism, sexism, or anything else. It's just that's their show. This is the show that they're putting on and what they're on. And later on, again, they may have you back to do that show, but right then at the time is not the time. All right. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. Remember Baltimore? Remember during when Baltimore was having so many problems. Um, when we saw people rioting and burning things down. Big Phil, we're just talking news and politics. Remember that? And we were talking about safe spaces at the time, and we were talking about we have to give people room to destroy. Remember those remarks by the mayor and the state's attorney who was coming out and was saying, we're doing this for you. And I think, what was it, maybe all of those people were found to have not done what they were charged with, all the police officers. The last I heard, there were about at least 6 or something like that. I don't know. So, but it was a big mess. And we even had Attorney General Lynch. Remember going in there? She brought her whole team in there. The DOJ was going to talk about we've got to redo everything. Yeah, it's a mess. Kim, you're right. And we've got to redo everything. We're going to look at the police. We're going to tell you what they did wrong. Hey, Danielle, good to see you. And that went on for the longest time. And when they did that, they found so many violations or whatever. Attorney General Lynch. Oh, I know, Danielle. Every morning, weekdays at 11. And so here's what's coming on now. The Baltimore mayor is a new mayor now. I think the last name is Pugh, P-U-G-H. The mayor is asking the FBI for help because the homicide rates are soaring. Don, you're not a distraction for me. You're fine. You can say whatever you want. I'll tell you when I think you're stepping over the line or anything. Don't worry about it. And so she's saying, now yeah, I know, really, Danielle. It's like, really. They're saying that. Hey, Sharon. Good morning. They're saying that she's saying there are too many guns on the streets. So I guess now we're going to be looking at it's the guns again. Not the people, not them letting crime run amok. That's not it. Nope, it is the guns. Um, so she's saying that I guess there've been so far this year there've been like 101 people that have died from homicide, and that's 101 is like the highest in 2 decades. I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah, Don, you can say that. You're perfectly fine. So, uh, and here's the thing too. They're expecting more homicides there. Hey, Huey, as the weather gets hotter. So she's really worried that they're going to have a lot of trouble. So, it, I mean, is it sounding to you like Chicago? Is it sounding to you like a lot of time in a lot of places in California? Without our guns, we would be like France, Germany, and Venezuela at the mercy of a government. Yeah, I know, Susan. I feel like people just condemn them without reading them first. I don't know what that is. Um, Asher said, just ask Oakland, all those guns on the subway. Yeah, yeah, Oakland is a perfect example, Asher. Glad you brought it up. We brought that up a couple days ago when 40 to 60 people jumped over, got on the subway in Oakland, started hitting people, robbing them. Some people have head and face injuries. So, I mean, it's out of control. And you have to do something about it. And Baltimore, you remember, Baltimore is a city that said, bring all your the Syrian refugees in here too. I think they were going to take about 10,000 refugees. Yeah, I know, Susan. It's really bad. There are people still probably in the hospital. And Don is saying maybe only Fox reported that. So, how many more incidents are we going to have of that before we do something about it? And really, it's when you sit there and you don't enforce the law, this is what happens. I mean, it's common sense to most of us, but I guess not to the people who are in charge of places like Baltimore. You can't have a lawless society. You just can't do it. And you get a lot of incidences like that, and like in Oakland, and things that are happening in Chicago. Used to be nice here in Baltimore. Wow. Yeah, I've been to Baltimore. I went years ago. It was a nice place. We are soft. Nothing will happen unless we step up ourselves. Yeah. I know, Shauna. Sometimes you got to refresh. Sometimes your connection might go down or something. I couldn't live in a big city. Well, open carry or concealed. Well, again, the words out of the mayor's mouth was not that we have a high crime rate because we're not enforcing the law. The words were we have problems because there are too many guns on the street. So you have to get back in to knowing what you have to do, and that's enforce the law. And that's, I mean, look at Berkeley. Look at what's happening in Berkeley. We didn't last time. We didn't enforce the law. We let people do whatever they wanted to do. Yeah, I mean, in California, they let out last year, 20,000 people on the street that they said, well, these were, um, yeah, I heard a late child that they want to do single payer in California. California is out of control. Out of control. Illegal guns in criminals' hands. Yeah. And taking away everybody else's guns, isn't going to help with that. Trained auxiliary citizen patrols. We used to have like the guardian angels. They don't like the guardian angels and people like that so much because I think they fear that they're going to become, the police or something. Get rid of, yeah. No, I'm not going to consider single payer for any reason. I don't care what they do. Yeah, I'm in California as well. California basically, LA child. California basically, they like to submit these bills that the general public doesn't like, but they run them through quickly before we even know that it's happened. Yeah, Baltimore, mighty blessed. The guns on the street in Baltimore are not unusual. Unfortunately, we need to protect ourselves, even though it horrifies me to think of shooting. Well, you have to defend yourself. Yes, California is run by Democrats. Yep, and our votes don't matter. It's true, LA child. Yeah, I feel sorry for California too, especially because I'm sitting in it. Um, Don't be telling a fib. You know you live next door to the AI. I live in Anchorage, Alaska. They just push in through anyway. Yeah. I mean, you know, everybody, I think if everybody could carry a weapon if they wanted to, a concealed weapon, concealed carry, probably the crime rate would actually go down. Shauna says she's afraid to go to some cities. She had to cancel a money making clinic in Michigan and just in Dearborn, Michigan. It scared her too much. You know, why can't they shut Soros down? Well, again, they've got to find that one thing that he did illegally and go after him in that way. California pays most federal taxes than any other state by a mile. Pays for all that military. Well, it's in a I, I I would assume that it would pay higher taxes because it is a bigger state, but they nickel and dime us here for everything. They just raise the gas 12 cents on the gallon, and they continue to do anything. I mean, we're paying higher now on DMV. I mean, it's just and you never know where that money is going to go. They claim, oh, we're going to do that for the roads. I know it's crazy, Lisa. Cost of living is totally outrageous. You know, if you're a young person here in California and you're trying to come here and start your life, you can't do it. Kevin, was that a question? Um, Asher says the only reason I haven't moved yet is I still have hope for California. Yeah, well, I'd like to have hope for that, but we'd be fine to split between North. I would LA child. Let's split between Northern California and Southern California. I'd love that. Wow. No, I didn't hear that, Susan. That's pretty amazing. Moving to the red. Yeah, I would be in Southern California. I mean, we used to be very much Republican, conservative Republican here. Cali has a mystical draw. Love it. Can't blame you. Well, California's beautiful. I mean, it is the weather, the ocean, the scenery. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's everything else that's the problem. Yeah, Baltimore really started having its problems after the riots. I mean, that's when everybody really started noticing it. And when they told the police to stand down, and when it was safe spaces and room to destroy, space to destroy, whatever. You can't have that. Again, you have to enforce the law. Berkeley's going to understand about that. Again, it's going to be interesting to see who shows up tonight in Berkeley, if anybody. And as other people were talking about, and as we know, Ann Coulter did not cancel last night, but they basically canceled her. Yeah, it really has changed, Lisa. It's a different place. I've been here for a very long time, and it's hard to even recognize it sometimes. Even I live here. Yeah, I know. But it's kind of California. You can go to the beach, and you can go to the mountains in the same day. Yeah, the Young Republicans canceled. God bless tattoos. Yeah, you would love California. It's absolutely gorgeous. I don't care where you go, southern or northern. Northern California is absolutely stunning as well. So, my niece lives in Hollywood. Oh, yeah. Now, Hollywood, no, not so much. Uh, no, I was on here, so I didn't see Ryan on healthcare. What did he say? I've been many times, would never live there. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's difficult, um, but I mean, basically, it's not horrible to live here. It's just that our leadership is horrible. The people here are pretty nice. They weren't giving Coulter a facility; it was too dangerous. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Coulter. I really wanted her to take a stand, and she did, and I really would have liked it for her to come forward, but it's way too dangerous. Yeah, anytime the Republicans in California try to introduce a bill, it always gets knocked down. Well, Lisa, the smog here is not as bad as it used to be. I mean, there was a time in LA during I guess it was like mid 70s when I went there one time for a visit. I mean, literally, you could not see the billboards on the side of the street. That's how bad the smog was until you got there. And that was crazy. It's not like that now. Cabrillo Gold Beach and El Toro. You've been there, Don? Ukiah and Redwoods, beautiful, Don. I went. Does anybody know where Mendocino is? I went horseback riding. My husband and I did. We went on like a 3-hour horseback riding trip in Mendocino, and we were in the redwood forest, and we were at one point riding our horses, and you could look over to the right, and you were at the top of the trees. It was beautiful. Johnny Carson joked about, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Karen. You couldn't even see the billboards like in the 1970s because you would have to drive literally right up on them to see them because it was so smoggy. Yeah, the redwood. I mean, if you ever get a chance to go to Mendocino and that area, try to go during the late summer because it's kind of foggy there and everything during the earlier months, and it could rain and all that. But oh my gosh, absolutely beautiful. And if you ever, go to the redwood forest, it's stunning. Yeah. So I mean, that's a really good thing to go there. Taking the train to Sacramento and driving back this summer. Oh, wow. I lived in Sacramento for about 3 years. Lord willing, I'll get back. Yep. You'd love it, Marlene. Just go for a visit, a quick trip, get back. But I mean, the coastline, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. You can't go there and not like it. Don, you are just something else. So okay, so let's see what else that we have in the news. Remember the guy in Fresno that killed the three people who basically said he didn't like white people. That was the allegations. He's been charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. So I'm sure the people of Fresno are really happy to hear that. Website $100 billion per year to taxpayers in 2010. Where's that, Asher? Yeah, so that's pretty devastating news for everybody that remembers that. Very recent. Seriously, take Kentucky. They're missing. Oh God, Mike, I'm not even going to repeat that. And let's see. You'll love this too. The UN is warning Donald Trump that repealing Obamacare could violate international law if there was no adequate replacement. See, this part about the UN stepping into our business. I said the UN is warning Donald Trump, President Trump, that repealing Obamacare could violate international law if there's no adequate replacement. This is what happens when you allow the UN, I know, when you allow the UN to come into your business. That was just the best joke that I know. I wish it were just a joke. I do business with companies, but my internet radio is in San Diego. Yeah. But see, the former administration gave the UN more credence, and therefore the UN feels now that they can sort of interfere with what we're doing. Yeah, we need to cut off the UN. We need to tell the UN get out of New York. I mean, I really wish that would be something that we do. I don't necessarily see that happening, but that's what we need to do. Yeah, well, it's funny when we didn't have Obamacare, right? Everything was fine. But now that we're going to repeal Obamacare without an adequate replacement, and I guess adequate, I guess there it's basically not. Um, they'd have to decide what's adequate, because we can't decide what's adequate. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So, anyway, didn't Obama try to get a smaller arms treaty with the UN, which would take away our second? Yes. Yeah, Jerry. I'm sorry. I thought it was Jerry White Panther. Sorry. I looked up and I went too fast. Uh, Thanks, Mike. You just get trolls every now and then. They're just not happy people, and God bless them. I hope they find what they need to not lash out at other people. Um, so they sent a warning to our State Department saying that they have serious concerns. Yeah, the only thing, Jerry, that the UN can do is thank you, is the UN focuses on talking about what they should do. They never they never do anything. They just talk about it. And so you have a lot of people who are sitting there who need things. Thank you, I appreciate it. Who need things, but they just talk about it. I know, Shauna, huh? It's so so I don't really think that we're going to could write a very stern worded letter. Yeah. Woo. Trolls keep us on our toes till they get the boot. uh, Don said, "I found God. I have received absolution before going into battle. I'm not Catholic." Not sure what that has to do with anything. Hey, Rob, how are you? Good morning. I know. Gosh, maybe the UN will come and invade America. Ooh. Your husband wants to move to Austin, LA child. Why would you do that? Why would you go from liberal land to even more liberal land? Aren't we supposed to get bathroom breaks when we're working, Sean? ah, it's great talking about it. Yeah, I mean, and that's what we're doing. We're talking about the news. Too much sunny delight. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah. LA child. I wouldn't go there, but that's. It depends on what you're looking for. I think there's other places. Good barbecue. Yeah, yeah, good barbecue, but it's kind of like from what I can tell, more of a college town, extremely liberal. For the weather, LA child is going to be hard to meet. Hey, Robin, who's working? Shauna. I have Shauna working this morning, so she's complaining about not getting breaks. No, I never moved to Austin until it's not a sanctuary city. Yeah, Austin, exactly. Did you show the lefties? Sorry, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you don't want to go there. Austin is Dawn over here is saying that Austin is way too liberal. We have open carry in Georgia. Wow. Does anybody know anything about San Antonio? Is it liberal? Maybe LA Child can go there. I don't know, LA Child. Looking at Texas, like sometimes you have to wonder about the hurricanes and all that other stuff. I don't know. If San Antonio is better than Austin. Yeah, exactly, Karen. Democrat community, sanctuary cities. Yep. Your brother lives in Austin. Wow. Military military town. What is Don? San Antonio? Charlotte, Blue Pill sick here in North Carolina. Charlotte and all those places in North Carolina there, Philip, used to be very conservative until California moved over there. And then once that happened, it became very liberal and became more like California. Stay away from Northwest side. Mississippi mostly conservative. Huh. Wow. Anybody from Tennessee? Anybody like Tennessee? Robin, she's just complaining. She's making stuff up. Don't feel sorry for her. Yeah, some people really like Tennessee. Fort Worth, Texas. As long as you're in a safe place, you can be anywhere. Yeah, I mean, every city has its. Tennessee is very low cost of living. Huh. Every place has its own area where it's not good to go. Montana. Montana's beautiful, but my gosh, could you be there during the winter? That's the problem. Here's what would be ideal: having a place where you could be 6 months one place and 6 months someplace else. I mean, who would love that, right? You could be in, let's say, California 6 months out of the year, and then you could go to the East Coast 6 months out of the year. Yeah, I grew up in North Carolina, Dawn. Retirement. Well, or it's called you're rich and you can afford to do that, right? There are people that near me that they stay in. I don't know why I do this, but you stay in Arizona part of the year and then come to California. So seems almost about the same. Stay away from large cities. They're magnets for liberals. Yeah. And unfortunately, the coastline is, especially in California, magnets for that. So depends on what you like. You know, if you're liberal, you want to go there. If you're not liberal, you have to decide whether or not you can handle it. My annuity agent is from San Diego. Says weather's mild all year. Pretty much so, Karen. You can't complain about San Diego. It's beautiful weather. It really is. Sean is just monitoring. A lot of people do, and it's only 2 hours from doing. Okay, okay, yeah. All right, you guys, we have met that 1 hour mark, and thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for putting up with some of the trolls today that just wanted to be silly because they have nothing better to do. And we hope that people overnight will mature a little bit, and the trolls will find something else to do rather than being children. You know, children are would be more welcome. So anyway, thank you guys. No glitches. I know. And again, please note that I'll probably be dropping in as sort of impromptu. Carmel is beautiful. Love Carmel. One of my favorite areas up there, Central California. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and click on the little bell so that you can come back on. You take care too. Thank you everybody for being here. It's almost Friday. Yes, yes, yes. Don't forget, 4:30 this afternoon, you'll want to be watching Fox Live to see my friend who will be standing there with the president. Thank you, Karen. See you guys. Yes, subscribe, subscribe. Okay, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Let me see if I can get it. I can't see. Periscope doesn't want me to stop. All right, you guys on YouTube. Thank you, Shauna, for helping, and everybody, please subscribe. Get other people to join, and let's build up YouTube. All right. Take care. I'll talk to you later. Again, I may come back for an impromptu, so make sure that you're all signed up. Take care.